Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears, 8 o'clock Eastern. You got to get Prime Video if you want to watch this one. This one's wild. Saturday night. Hey, remember a couple Saturdays ago, this game was absolutely insane. This was the game that went to overtime. I think that really kind of started our heater. This was the one that kind of started the heater. Well, maybe not started, but continued it on. I think the Thursday night game between the Seahawks and Rams probably started it all up. But either way, that game was absolutely insane. 22-16. It was an absolute stunner when Caleb Williams finding DJ Moore in the end zone for an overtime winner. But for the most part, the Packers controlled this game. There was a stat that popped up on social media. I can't remember where I found it, so I can't credit it. But on both games this divisional round, both games in this division this year between the Packers and Bears, the Bears have not led for a single second in both games.
That's incredible.
Yet the Bears have won one of the games because they scored the game winner in overtime. So they didn't lead until they took over the lead, as time obviously didn't matter because you end the game in overtime. Yeah. So for both games, the Packers have led the entire time. How wild is that? That's either been tied or it's either been the Packers with the lead.
It's funny you say that because I was just thinking, looking at these two teams, I'm actually a little surprised at the number. Green Bay 9-7-1. Like, it feels like they're much closer to a 11, 12 win team, just the way that they operate. It's surprising to me, and they feel like they're in control a lot when I watch them play. So I feel like they're much better than their 9-7-1 record shows. And maybe that makes me a casual, but I'm from around the Green Bay area, so not necessarily that close. Unfortunately, I'm right in the middle of like a bunch of pro teams, but I'm going to go ahead and say that this Packers team is legit. They're better than that 9-7-1 record. So for those of you out there who are like, I'd rather take the 11-6 team. Like, I don't know. I think this Packers team is actually really, really good. And you said injuries. Like, how big of an injury role is that going to play in this game?
Yeah, I mean, they're coming into the playoffs on a 4-game losing streak. If it wasn't for the tie, they wouldn't be in. That literally the tie with the Cowboys early in the season had saved them from making it into the playoffs. They were the last one to sneak in, 7th seed. And when you look at the injuries, I mean, Jordan Love is the first one you talk about. He's obviously going to be back. We'll see how much that actually takes place. He was injured in that game against the Chicago Bears. And okay, so what makes you wonder, how much rust does he have? Is he going to be willing to be ready to go right off the bat on Saturday night? And if so, are they going right back to normal where they control the entire game? But here's the thing. You can control the entire game, but if you don't control it at the very last second, you lose the football game. Controlling the game is one thing. Completing the game is the complete other. Jordan Love has to make sure if he wants to do that, he's got to make sure that he's ready to go on Saturday night. I think this is a very important game for the Green Bay Packers. Look at the Jordan Love conversation we've had in the past, asking the question, is Jordan Love the quarterback for the future for the Green Bay Packers? Yes, his contract is one thing, but look what Malik Willis has done. Although he hasn't won football games, he's shown he can move that offense. And then, of course, Matt LaFleur. What does his leash look like? This could be a very interesting game. If this doesn't go in Green Bay's favor, it could be a very interesting offseason for the Packers.
Yeah, things could shake up, very, very quickly over in Green Bay. I would say, I don't know if I'm going to put that much weight into it, but I do think that there is, what you're saying is completely valid. Like, I don't know if they're going to move on from Jordan Love necessarily, but I assume that big changes will be made. And you make a great point. Like, is it the system? Is Jordan Love just good because of what Matt LaFleur is doing? Could they just move on to a younger guy? Is that what Matt LaFleur would want to do? Or would he rather, kind of die on the ship and ride Jordan Love, maybe not that, but ride the Jordan Love boat out and just see if he can kind of stay the course there. So I think you're exactly right. I think this is a big game and an opportunity for them to kind of save the season. Like you said, ending the season on a losing streak. Sometimes it literally comes down to how the season ends. It's not about how it started or anything like that in the NFL. Sometimes it literally just comes down to what was the output. Look at the Ravens, right? Like, it just literally came down to whether the kick went in or not. And that was the deciding factor on whether Harbaugh was going to be the coach next season. So I think that the Packers will be fine in this one. I'm actually going to go ahead and pick them. But I think you're exactly right that this is a big time game for everyone in the building.
The Bears have been kind of shaky in the last couple of games as their season as well. Obviously, their offense hasn't looked very good. Caleb Williams has shined towards the end of the game, which, I mean, if you want them to be good at one point, you want them to be good towards the end for sure. And that, of course, that helps you win games like in overtime against the Packers. But if Caleb Williams can show you better performance in quarter one, quarter two, hell, even quarter three, I think you have a way better shot at doing this. I like what Ben Johnson's doing with this team. I have a lot of faith in what Ben Johnson's going to do to the Bears for the future. I just wonder if it's here yet, right? The Bears are 6-1 at home, though. Let's not shake that. I mean, well, 6-1 at home after the game against the Packers. I think they lost a couple other ones, but either way, they had a very good season. I was looking at that 6-1 when I had the Packers tab up. There's 6-2, excuse me.
6-2.
They lost the Lions to end the season.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I think I like the Bears here. I think I'm going to go with the Bears because I think they have more of the momentum. I think they have a more complete team. I think injuries are more of a bigger deal when it comes to Green Bay Packers. Look, when you look at that overtime game, yes, the Packers led the entire game until the very end. The Bears had 10 penalties for over 100 penalty yards. All that stuff is correctable. Now, it hasn't been all season. The Bears have had some issues with some false starts. They've had some issues with penalties, with offensive just confusion. I'm sure that Ben Johnson offense isn't the easiest to understand. But I think when it comes down to it, and you have to say, all right, it's time to go to work, boys. I think it's time to go to work. And I'm going to take the Chicago Bears to win this game, but I think it's a close one. I think we're in for another slobber knocker, if you will. ESPN Analytics have Green Bay Packers being the favorite in this one as well, 55.9%. Chicago Bears, 44.1%. Again, 8 o'clock Eastern on Prime Video. We're split here. This is the first time we're split, and this one's going to be interesting now. I would not be shocked if it went the other way, but I'm going to lean the Bears to win this game.
The Bears. Yeah, give me the Packers. And your point about momentum, I'm going to disagree with, just me personally. I don't think either of these teams have momentum right now, and I think it comes down to hunger and who needs it more, which I know that I love to say that. It's like, well, which team wants to win in the playoffs more? I get it. Like, obviously both teams want to win this game. But what's at stake? And you mentioned like what could happen inside the Packers organization versus for the Bears. Feels like the Bears are quote unquote ahead of schedule a little bit with Ben Johnson. The Packers are kind of on the end of a tail run here with Matt LaFleur. Like, can they extend it and whatever? I think they're going to come into this one ready. I think it really comes down to preparation when you talk about who wants it more, not necessarily in the game. So I expect the Packers to be ready, to have a few tricks up their sleeve and to really have a few solid kind of concepts they're going to rely on. I give me the cheese, man. I don't know. I guess we'll see. This is going to be a classic NFC North battle, which we love to get in the playoffs. But I think I have to go with the Packers here.
That Saturday night football is going to be really fun. I mean, I think both those games are going to be exciting. I think it's going to set us up for a great Sunday into a Monday night football playoff game. It's going to be a very exciting long weekend for the NFL playoffs.